me now introduce our first speaker, Ms. Sheila Dikshit, a well-known figure in Indian politics, belonging to the Indian National Congress. As a politician, she has handled some challenging portfolios, such as Member of the Parliament from 1984 to 1989, India's representative to the UN Commission on the Status of Women for 5 years, and Chief Minister of Delhi from 1998 to 2013. Ms. Dikshit has proven her excellence as a powerful administrator and leader and has successfully led her party to 3 consecutive victories in the New Delhi constituency in the Legislative Assembly of Delhi. Being born in Kapurthala, Punjab, she studied at the Convent of Jesus and Mary School in the capital and then at Miranda House College in Delhi University. She entered into politics, assisting her father-in-law, a veteran Uttar Pradesh Congress leader, late Mr. Uma Shankar Dikshit, who was a minister in Ms. Indira Gandhi's cabinet. It was our former Prime Minister, Ms. Indira Gandhi, who first picked Ms. Dikshit to be a part of a UN delegation. Having been honoured with the Best Chief Minister of India Award by the Journalist Association of India in 2008, the Politician of the Year Award by NDTV in 2009, and the Delhi Women of the Decade Achievers Award in 2013 by ASSOCHAM, Ms. Dikshit is most certainly a model of excellence for all of us. Let me invite ma'am to share her valuable insights. Can we have a round of applause, everyone?
Teacher, most important teacher on the dais with me, and all the distinguished students who have come from many parts of Delhi, right? Am I right? It's not just this school, but many other parts. First of all, let me say congratulations to you for having such a gathering, because, and the subject that you have chosen is politics, right? Now, politics is what shall I say, a hot subject. It's a very hot subject, and everybody at some point of their lives wants to become a politician. No matter what else they may do, they feel the politician becoming a politician is about the best aspiration that one can have. And it really is a very good aspiration, because you serve the people and your country. But it's a very difficult one, and it has many more ups and downs than all the other professions put together. That is, if you can call politics a profession. Also, it has challenges. It has challenges which are unforeseeable. You're expected to know science, you're expected to understand women's rights, you're expected to understand what children need, you're expected to understand what a city or a country needs, you're expected to plan for the future, you're expected to correct what is not correct. In everybody's eyes, it may be correct or not correct in your eyes. You are to work within a framework of rules, regulations, the constitution, and so many other ifs and buts. So it's not an easy job, but it is a wonderful service if you take it as a service. And if you don't get too rattled by, I was Chief Minister, I was Prime Minister, today I'm nobody, nobody even looks at me. So if you don't get rattled with the great ups and downs which this being a politician has, then you are happy. Otherwise, you will be miserable. I have known of people, my colleagues and all, who have held very high positions, and suddenly they've lost an election because the people did not vote for them, not because they did not do work or they did too much work or didn't do enough, but somehow the people wanted to change. And we are a democracy, a very, very, very vibrant democracy. People want to change. After they feel, even if you've done the world's best work, I'll tell you my personal experience. I became Chief Minister 3 times. I was elected the Chief Minister of Delhi 3 times. And I feel the time that I lost, that was the 4th time, I had done the best work. because we had done the Commonwealth Games, we had made so many, all the bridges and everything that you see were there, traffic was all right, so many roads were being made, and lovely schools, the educational results in our schools were there, 6 universities had been made, the best healthcare system was there, the CNG buses were there, there wasn't the kind of pollution that you're seeing even today. So when I thought that I would surely win this election, because the Commonwealth Games had, given India a name and everything was just going, I lost the election. So you never can tell, you never can be sure that what work you're doing is reaching the people the way it should. Somebody else came on and said, if you bring me and my party, the government, next government, you won't have to pay for power, you won't have to pay for water. So everybody got carried away, oh what? We're going to get free water and we're going to get free power. Little realizing that nobody can get anything free. You can get a certain amount of concessions because you come from a poor family or you're a poor person, but you cannot get anything for free. Nobody can give anything for free. So there are these ups and downs of politics. Added to those ups and downs are the uncertainty of politics. आप जीत गए तो जीत गए. जब मैं पहली दफा जीती थी तो मुझे बिल्कुल विश्वास नहीं था कि मैं नहीं हूँ दिल्ली में और कौन मुझे जानता है यहाँ और इतने वोटों से जीत गए कि it was because it became a record. So in 1998 when I won my first election with no background at all, except that I was a Delhi girl, that I had studied in Delhi, and a lot of people tried to say, she's not a Delhi girl, she's married in UP, she was born in Punjab in Kapurthala, so she's not a Delhi person. And father-in-law, who was a politician and a freedom fighter, he also belongs to UP. And so she's not and she's born somewhere in Kapurthala in Punjab, so she's not a Delhi wala. So you see, you come across these kind of criticisms which have no relationship, no value whatsoever in your being elected and selected. But I did get elected in spite of all these attacks on me, on all these question marks on my credibility of being a Delhi wala. Will I understand Delhi? Will I know Delhi? Because Delhi is a cosmopolitan city. It has people from all over the country. We have a huge population from Kerala. We have a huge population from Bihar. We have a huge population from UP. And we have a huge population from Bihar. We have a huge population of the Bengalis. You know, when the Bengalis came here, when Rashtrapati Bhavan and the parliament was being made, a lot of labor came in from Bengal and they've stayed on. So there are a huge number of Bengalis. In fact, there are colonies which are settled where the Bengalis settled in. So what I'm trying to tell all of you is that Delhi is very cosmopolitan. It belongs to everybody. If a person comes from Punjab, Delhi is his capital also. As much as it is the capital of all of us who are living here, it's the capital of my country. So therefore it's everybody's capital. So Delhi, and you're lucky to be studying here, to be seeing the ambience that the whole country is looking for. Delhi is considered one of the finest cities in the world today, especially Lutyens Delhi. All of you may or may not believe it, many of you must have been abroad, but you find the kind of chaos in Paris, for instance, or even in Rome is not too bad, but Paris is there, and New York. It just drives you crazy with the traffic. So you see, it's just that because this belongs to us, we want to see it looking better and better and better and better, and we admire others for the progress that they have made. And please remember, that our population is very high. जो एक दफ़ा दिल्ली में आ जाता है वो फिर कभी वापस नहीं जाता है, बल्कि अपने पूरे परिवार को यहाँ ही ले आता है. तो you have a problem of housing. You have areas where housing is not proper. People are living in झुग्गीज़, in झोपड़ीज़. पानी चाहिए उन्हें. पानी कहाँ से आप लाएंगे? दिल्ली में कुछ भी अपना नहीं है बेटा. दिल्ली में ना पानी अपना है, ना वेदर अपना है, ना कोई ये कह सकता है कि हमारे पास हम किसी चीज़ को इम्पैक्ट कर सकते हैं. पानी हमारे यमुना से आता है जो बहुत दूर से आती है और चली भी आगे जाती है. इतना ही पानी हमें मिलता है. हमें अगर जो मौसम शिमला में ठंड पड़ती है तो यहाँ मौसम ठंड पड़ जाती है. कहीं आंधी पड़ती है राजस्थान में तो मट्टी यहाँ आ जाती है. So Delhi has got nothing of its own, and yet it is the capital, and a very proud capital of this great country. So you have a future in a city. Many of you will fly away to many other places in the city, which is really today, as of today, when I'm speaking to you and all of us are together, it is the best city that this country has. It really is the best. So we should count our blessings and of course also make demands for making things better. मुझे बहुत बुरा लगता है, बहुत सारे आप बच्चों समझेंगे या नहीं समझेंगे, आप लोग समझेंगे कि नहीं, when people say कि भैया मुफ्त चाहिए हमें. क्यों भाई, आप पानी इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, क्यों नहीं आप पैसा देंगे? जब आप जाते हैं किसी रेस्टोरेंट में और हैमबर्गर खाते हैं या कुछ भी लेते हैं, you say please give it to me for free. No, you don't. You have to pay for your electricity. You have to pay for the services that are given to you. You have to pay for the metro. You have to pay for the bus ride that you have. So everything, just like in any ordinary life, even a government runs on income from all of you. If we didn't get the income from the people, then we wouldn't be able to expand. Metro today is over 200 kilometers, I think, right? So when I started, and I started metro in 1999, 98 became, yes, 1999 we started metro. And at that time, it was just a small metro from East Delhi to Kashmiri Gate. It was just about 5-7 kilometers or 10 kilometers. Today it is 200 plus kilometers. And can you imagine life in Delhi without the metro? Buses would not have been able to cope up with it, because the number of buses that you can have on roads and streets, how wide can you make them? And that has its limitations. So if you didn't have metro, you would have had a Delhi which would have been really, something almost impossible to live in or to move around in. Then we got CNG. Now CNG is a fuel which is a clean fuel. When we got the CNG, it took me 2 years to get the CNG because it had to come all the way from Gujarat. All the way from there, the line had to be laid. It had to come via all these states, Rajasthan, Bihar, and then come to Delhi. So it took about 1.5 years, 2 years before we could get CNG. And if we didn't have CNG, can you imagine the kind of bad air that you and I would have had to smell or to take in? It's bad. It's even bad. It means we need to take another step now. What do we do to create good air quality in Delhi now? The challenge is now. That is past. That challenge was met. Now what do we need to do? And if anybody has any ideas, I think we should bring them out and say, okay, please do this, do that. We also will have to discipline ourselves. बहुत सारे जगह आप 6-8 गाड़ियाँ रखते हैं. अब गाड़ियाँ जो हैं, if you go on the road, you find 1 or 2 people sitting in a car. If 4 people could sit in that car, then you will save 2 other cars from going on the road. So we'll have to discipline ourselves for a future of Delhi. What do we do? Greenery. There was hardly any greenery in Delhi. So we started a green program And we got the students, the children's school students to lay plants. Today Delhi is the greenest city in the country and one of the greenest capitals in the world. You won't find this kind of greenery in either Paris or in New York, or even Washington is not as green as it ought to be. Australia is, yes, because it's a very sparsely populated country. Australia, yes. Some of the Southeast Asian countries are quite good, but not as up to the mark as they really ought to be. So we are facing, the whole world is facing it. We are facing it more because we are more concentrated. We have much larger population which we have to cater to, their health requirements, their health needs and all. Now a simple thing like dengue. Why has dengue spread so much today in Delhi? Because mosquitoes. And why are there mosquitoes? Because there is no cleaning up process. So we have to do that. And children, I can assure you about it. If you make a demand, not only in your household but in your schools also, through your schools, through the government of the day, so that the people who are governing listen to your voice, I'm sure you have a very, very big impact. So get up, raise your voice, say it. Okay, I'm not going to stand for this kind of a future. The future is yours. You have to get a country which will cater to what your aspirations are, what your needs are, what you would look for yourself and the future generations to come. We can say, okay, all right, we've had a good life, finished, we don't have to worry about it. But you have to. So you have to raise your voice. And I would request all the schools which are here, please raise your voice. Kahiye. When we went in for the greening of Delhi, the plantation drive, it was the children of the schools that helped us. They grew, you know, that area which is in South Delhi, which borders Haryana and was supposed to be a forest. It had turned into just rocks. It had turned into rocks, and those rocks were being cut by people who required that stone to either build something or to do something or to make roads or whatever it was. We stopped that and we got children to do the plantations there. So the birds came back, the plantation came back, and all the rocks were covered. Today that is one of the greenest spots in India and in Delhi, which caters. You know, near your Vasant Vihar also, there is a green patch. Have you seen that? That also was started by us because they had started building over there also, cracking up. But it's become a green spot now, and it's got birds, it's got little animals and all, you know, tiny little animals, nothing big, nothing like a zoo or anything, but that is there. So what we have to do better is to contribute whatever we can. I mean, I see people having an ice cream or something and throwing the cover on the road. No, it should not be done. Because that cover will keep lying for at least 24 hours till the next day when they come to clean up that place. So we have to, these are little things, very small things. Close the door, put off the fan when you are leaving the room, put off the air conditioner when you are leaving the room. They're small things. Last thing I would like to tell you, then when we govern, when we become people who are in government, who are political people, who form a government, their contact with the people must be continuous. So we had started...
Indian singer, musician, pianist, actor and composer of Afghani origin who without a doubt has made a mark on the music industry. His music is a fusion of Asian and Western styles and his instrumentation ranges from classical and jazz to modern pop rock. A review in the US-based Keyboard magazine described him as the fastest keyboard player in the world and called him the keyboard discovery of the 90s. He can play over 35 musical instruments. He has performed for a varied audience, including the kings of Sweden and Jordan and the President of France. having participated in various prestigious music festivals and having held solo concerts in over 40 countries. He has been associated with the greatest names from the Indian film and music industry. Mr. Sami has been honored with several international awards, such as he was given an award by UNICEF for a song he wrote for the famine hit Ethiopia as a teenager, and also was presented with a United Nations Peace Medal for a song he wrote and performed for Africa. In 2008, he won the Best International Act Award at the UK Asian Music Awards. Mr. Sami was felicitated with the Brand Laureate International Brand Personality Award by the President of the Brand Laureate, Dr. K.K. Johan, in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia in 2013. Mr. Sami created history by becoming the first South Asian to have sold out London's iconic Wembley Stadium for a record of 8 times. The Mayor of London, Mr. Sadiq Khan, honoured him and attended the concert. Without any further ado, I'd like to invite Mr. Adnan Sami to share his thoughts with us. Let's welcome sir with a huge round of applause, everyone.
Good afternoon. It's absolutely wonderful to be here this afternoon, and I've heard wonderful things about all of you and this wonderful institution. And whatever you heard right now as an introduction, I paid for it. So you know, it was all good. And but the fact of the matter is that you start a journey in your life, you really don't know where it's going to go. And I didn't know that I was going to end up doing the kind of things that I have done or am going to do. You just go on taking baby steps, and you just don't know where it's going to lead to. I used to follow the good old 5-year plan until I realized that there's no such thing. So I've got a new motto in my life, and that is that if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, because you really don't know where it's going to go. I come from a completely non-musical family. My grandfather was the governor of 4 provinces in Afghanistan. My dad was in the diplomatic service, and he was ambassador to 14 countries. But we all loved music. And when I wanted to, suddenly, we were in Portugal, when my father was ambassador over there, and there was a piano in the house, and it happened to be there as part of the ambassador's residence. We just came over there, and so I started playing with it like a toy, and before I knew it, I was sort of making little tunes, you know. And my father, sometimes when he would come back from the office, he would sort of, in order to unwind, he used to try to play a little bit of, you know, the piano. One day he was trying out a tune which I had already, on the sly, I had already done, because I was not allowed to touch the piano. I was hardly 4.5 years old. And he was making a mistake. And I turned around to him and I said, "Baba, you're making a mistake." And he he sort of brushed me aside. "Yeah, isko kya pata hai? Haan, theek hai." And I kept insisting that you're making a mistake. So finally he got irritated and he said, "All right, okay, fine. What is the mistake?" And I played the tune to him. But I got caught in the process. Then he realized that, all right, this kid has got a little bit of a inclination towards playing music. So he started to encourage me. And that hobby, to cut it short, that hobby became a passion and even an obsession. And now he was faced with a dilemma. That, all right, okay, fine. Nobody has music in our family. Nobody's done it, and you know, coming from a very, very conservative family, he turned around and said, "How do I deal with that? How am I gonna?" And you know, it was like, "Haan, theek hai, music to karta, lekin karega kya?" You know, it was like that. So I would, if somebody turned around, you know, like especially you know, when you're really a kid, you know, you're asked, what are you going to do? And somebody turns around and says, I'm going to be a pilot, I'm going to be this. And I used to turn around and say, I'm going to be a musician. So, you know, the elders used to say, "Ha, very cute, acha theek hai, karoge kya?" I said, I'm going to be a musician. "Ha, beta, lekin karoge kya?" So, you know, that was the attitude. So my father, you know, he made a deal with me because he understood that there was a passion there, and he was quite confident that there happened to be some kind of talent, you know. So he said to me, he said, "Listen, I will support you in everything you do, but you need to make a deal with me, and that is that you are going to get yourself a solid education." So I said, "Okay, fine." So then he sent me to boarding school. He sent me to England. He sent me to a school called Rugby. It's a boarding. It's a very sort of sorry. Yes, it's quite a celebrated institution over there. Just to let you know, the game rugby was invented in my school, and it was named after my school. So I went to rugby. Then after that, I went to King's College, and I studied political science and law. And after that, I went to Lincoln's Inn, and I became a barrister. And I used to sometimes, you know, when I was in the middle of school, and I used to say to myself, what am I going to learn from this periodic table? Who cares what carbon dioxide or CO2 is for? What is that got to do with Rag Darbari? But you know, today, I'm so grateful to him that he insisted. Of course, the moment I finished my bar, I said, "Listen, Baba, I have done my part of the deal. Now, let me pursue my passion." And then there was no looking back. And how many people are from Punjab over here? So you understand Punjabi? So my mother's from Jammu. My father's basically from Afghanistan, with Peshawar. So my mother, typical Punjabi lady, you know, so she turned around and, "Ki fayda hoya? Inni zyada padhai karke marazi banna si. Inni zyada paise kharche si. Ode baad musician hi banna si tu." But then, of course, when God started to bless me with success, she was the first one up with all the pride in the world. But the most important thing is that even though I studied law and became a lawyer, barrister, and then I went and pursued music, and you could turn around and say that, well, what does all that education have, you know, what use was all that with you finally going into music? And the fact of the matter is that today, first of all, it saves me a lot of legal fees. I'm able to, you know, I mean, I can speak to lawyers in their lingo, and something that would probably take them 4 hours to explain to a client takes them half an hour max. And much to their heart, because if they're charging me by the hour, then I'm a cheap client. So the thing is that, you know, I can draw up my own contracts many times. So the education has given me a sense of confidence whereby even though I might be a musician or a composer, whatever, but I can sit in the midst of any kind of a crowd and talk about anything under the sun, because education just widened my horizon, widened my vision, widened my sense of comprehension, and therefore I'm able to converse about anything, and just be generally more aware of life in general. So the thing is that why I'm talking about that in particular today is not just because of the fact that I happen to be in a school, but believe me, I mean, I'm sure there's some of you who are saying, "Oh my God, why do I need to study this subject or that subject? It's not going to come in handy for me in the future. I mean, what do I need to learn about Shakespeare when I'm going to be doing, communication engineering or telecommunication engineering?" Somewhere along the line, Shakespeare is going to come up, and you're going to be able to say, "To be or not to be?" That is the question. And the guy will turn around and say, "Yeah, इसको और भी कुछ आता है, अपने अलावा भी कुछ और आता है, चलो अच्छी बात है." So and you don't know that your future wife or your girlfriend or your husband or your boyfriend or whatever might have something to do with Shakespeare, and so you'll have a common ground to talk about, because sometimes we come from diverse backgrounds, and we're able to find some common ground whereby we communicate, and so it's all good, Some of it isn't, but a lot of it is. And and I'm crazy about her. I'm totally crazy about her. I mean, I'm going to get myself a gun license. I'm so possessive about her. Yeah, I keep, I used to spend, I mean, I grew up with this thing that people used to say, बाप और बेटी का जो रिश्ता है वो बड़ा अनमोल है. And I used to sort of say to myself, होता होगा, लेकिन ऐसी भी क्या बात है, होता होगा, लेकिन हम भी तो कम नहीं है. But believe me, the day she was born, I suddenly realized that there was a part of my heart that got activated, which I didn't even knew existed. I thought I had opened up all the chambers of my heart and had given out all the love that was there, that was ever possible, until my daughter was born, and I suddenly realized that no, there's this huge chamber which is suddenly come into discovery, and it's overflowing with it's in abundance of love, and it's a different kind of love, and it's possessive to the. I mean, it's like a friend of mine called me up. He said, "Oh, I'd like to come over. Come and see your daughter, and she's 5. She's now about 5 months old." And he said, "And I will. We must get Ravi. Our Ravi, 1-year-old. We must get together. You come. He doesn't come. He's not welcome here." Her name is Medina, and I've named her Medina after the city of Medina, from Makkah and Medina, and she is, she's my all. She's everything,
She's your muse now?
I'm sorry?
Is she your muse?
She is my muse, absolutely. I mean,
Written something?
yeah, I've composed a lullaby, which I haven't put words to as yet. So it's just a thing. It's a piano thing. It's not a that kind of thing. So she's just she's completely bowled me over, and I feel like those cartoons that the moment I come in front of her, my jaw drops, and it's like if she says that, "Baba, it's night," I'm telling you, it's night. It's day, it's day. And my world revolves around her. And so, it's, and I feel really blessed that I have someone so amazing in my life that inspires me to live yet again,
So, music is immortal. Even when it's off the charts, it lives through people's lives. And I'm 100% sure that you might have inspired tons of people all across the world to take up music as their passion or as their hobby. So how does that make you feel?
You know, when people come up to me and you know, say things like, you know, I started playing the piano after watching you, or started to compose, or I got into music because of you, or whatever. It's a beautiful it's a beautiful feeling to be able to influence someone's life, to have been able to create an impact in someone's life whereby they decided to take a particular direction because of what they felt listening to you or studying you or whatever. It's an incredible feeling. But however, I always say to them, I said, listen, first of all, learn it, but don't give up your education. I actually say that. I'm not saying this because I'm today at an institution, an educational institution, but I say that all the time. Because I cannot stress enough the importance of education. But it feels great. It feels wonderful that if people are able to take on music because of what they've heard me do, I've always been actually flattered by it.
So there's a request. I really want you to sing Noor-e Khuda from My Name Is Khan.
अजनबी मोड़ है, खौफ हर ओर है, हर नजर से धुआं छा गया, जाने कैसे ये क्यों हुआ, नूरे खुदा तू कहाँ छुपा है मुझे तो बता, नूरे खुदा यूं ना हमसे नजरें फेरा, नूरे खुदा. I've just been asked a very interesting question, and that is that, you know, sometimes you have a writer's block, and do you have a musician's block? Yes, musicians can have blocks, indeed. However, it depends, I guess, from person to person, in the sense that when you are sometimes when you're going through a difficult period, you can have a block, I guess. I, surprisingly and thankfully, am a little different. I react to difficulty in a you know, some people unfortunately they fold when they're confronted with a crunch situation. You know, they panic and they fall. Some people, they rise to the occasion, and they suddenly there's this energy that comes out which even surprises them. They're like, whoa, I didn't see that one coming. Whoa. Luckily, I'm one of those. You know, I have written some of my best stuff when I was most miserable. You know, I mean, so sometimes one turns around and says that, you know, need to have a little bit of a tough spot in order to create something good, you know. But I mean, I'm not inviting it either. I'm pretty happy the way I am. But the thing is that I have found that in myself, that whenever I've, you know, sometimes when people are going through a difficult period, whether it's emotionally or whatever, you know, sometimes they take it out in different ways. You know, sometimes, you know, they might break a glass, or they might bang their head against the wall. Sometimes you go to a shrink, you know. For me, I would take it out on my music. I would take it out on my piano. That's where I was able to ventilate, or that's where I ventilate. And that's, for me, therapeutic. So I saved myself a lot of shrink fees by composing. So for me, that's how I did it. So luckily, I have never really had that kind of a problem.
90s was a very important period.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote, actually, I wrote, for example, Kabhi To Nazar Milao, yeah, sort of walked into that one, didn't I? Okay. कभी तो नजर मिलाओ, कभी तो करीब आओ, कभी तो नजर मिलाओ, कभी तो करीब आओ, जो नहीं कहा है कभी तो समझ भी जाओ, हम भी तो हैं तुम्हारे दीवाने हो दीवाने, हम भी तो हैं तुम्हारे दीवाने हो दीवाने, कभी तो नजर मिलाओ, कभी तो करीब आओ.
What were you then from your first album, Chair?
Which one? Tera Chehra? Just checking.
Please one moment.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. ये ज़मीं रुक जाए, आसमां झुक जाए, तेरा चेहरा जब हो, तेरा चेहरा जब नजर आए, ये ज़मीं रुक जाए, आसमां झुक जाए, तेरा चेहरा जब नजर आए, तेरा चेहरा जब नजर आए, बैठ मेरे सामने, खाली दिल खाली नजर भर लूं, जा दे जा, तू खफा हो जाए, रात भी हो जाए, दिन तेरे आंचल में छुप जाए, हो तेरा चेहरा जब नजर आए, ये ज़मीं रुक जाए, आसमां झुक जाए, तेरा चेहरा जब नजर आए, हो तेरा चेहरा जब नजर आए. I'm in the middle of my next project is a film that I'm doing, and I'm doing it as an actor, which is a bit weird. Which is why the beard and the long, uncontrollable hair, which I'm finding very annoying. Because I'm used to the slightly chikna look, you know? You know, the pretty boy one. That kind of a look. So I'm like finding it very difficult to sort of control the hair, and it's sort of going out of control, and the beard. So, and the worst part is that I can't kiss Medina properly, because it's, you know, the moment I sort of kiss her, she goes. So the thing that I'm waiting for is when I'm able to shave, and then I'm able to give her the most embarrassing kisses, which make lots of noise. So in that, I'm composing the music, and we're very excited about it, and I hope you like the music. So I'm excited about that. It should be out probably by the second half of this coming year. So we're yes, I've composed most of all the music. Yeah. So it's exciting. It's a lot of fun. It's about a Afghan refugee musician who is initially living in Afghanistan, and the Taliban get a hold of him, and they say that music is haram. You can't play music. And they turn around and say, well, you know, we like your voice. Say the azan for us. He said, okay, if I can say the azan for you, then why not music? I said, no, music is haram. I said, where does it say that? They don't have any answer to that, because it's not actually written in the Quran. It's much to a lot of people's misunderstanding. So they have a confrontation with him, and he then flees from there. And he arrives in India as a refugee. And then India embraces him. And then he restarts his life over here, and then the journey. And he has a love affair with India. India has a love affair with him. He finds new love over here. So it's a beautiful, beautiful story. Well, it's not really like my story, but I found a connect. You know, I found a connect in it in a way. So. But musically, I'm very, very excited, because there's a lot of variety of music in there, you know. So I hope you enjoy it.
On behalf of Tagore International School, let me extend a hearty vote of thanks to Mr. Adnan Sami for gracing the event with his sheer presence. We have all been left awestruck, sir, by your achievements and deliberations. And I think I speak on behalf of everyone here, and especially Rumna ma'am, that we could sit here the entire day just listening to you, sir. So I thank you for highlighting that life is a journey, and that one can never know where it will lead us. And we have to keep working towards our goals and strive to achieve them. You inspire us, sir, to set the bar high, that we should never be afraid to dream big. And as sir said, let your plans be such that they make the gods laugh. The valuable lesson that we should persevere through the circumstances which test us, and that we must never be afraid to run towards our dreams, no matter what. You said achieving our dreams is difficult, but what we must remember is that they are achievable, and the lessons we have learned today will surely help us in a long way in helping us reach our destinies. So I must mention a deep sense of gratitude to you, sir, for sharing your experiences and wisdom. I'm sure each one of us present will take back some valuable lessons, and we look forward to hearing you in the future, and also look forward to your movie which is coming up. We are grateful for the honor of hosting you, and we thank you for your contribution to this event, sir. And to conclude, as sir highlighted, the only thing stopping you from achieving your dreams is yourself. Thank you.